You know what's funny? I had a Jerkovic jersey when I was little, and I don't know why. It's like a. I swear, I remember that, and I'm like, why did I have this jersey?
And we are rolling. Time for another episode of Cash's Top 5. Got a great guest today. We've talked a little bit about doing an episode. My friend Desmond Tardy is joining us. What's up, man?
How we doing?
Doing good, man. I'm so happy that you're taking the time. I appreciate you taking time. I know you got a crazy coaching schedule down there in Florida at the IMG Academy. In the Florida heat, not fun. So thank you very much for joining us.
No problem, man. I'm it's an honor to be on the show. I'm happy to get inside into some air conditioning.
I was going to say, it's whatever you can do as long as we're in the AC, we're good.
No doubt. If you'd have told me we were doing this outside, I probably had to decline. So we're good.
Sure. Well, I'm glad to have you on. You've always been, such a nice guy. I got to say, you were a big man on campus. Your senior year at Warren Central. We're both from the east side of Indy. I was a lowly freshman, but bumped into you a couple of times. You're always Mr. Nice, Mr. Fist bump. And, later in life, ran into each other out in Broad Ripple. And do you remember that time we were out in Broad Ripple and like the plumbing or the water, and we got locked into the bar for an hour? We couldn't leave Brothers or whatever it was. Do you remember that?
Yes. And mind you, I frequent, especially my 20s, early 20s, I frequented Broad Ripple when I was back home from college and whatnot. So yes, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, good times. Well, you were always very cool, and I always appreciated that. Where some of the bigger guys on campus can get a little bit of an ego. I feel like you never had that. Now, that's not to say this could get a little heated. We could have done a Cash's Top 5 of reasons why we should be with Carrie Underwood, and you and I can duke that out. Both vying for her affections, but
years of tweets for that.
That's why I got a Twitter.
Years. Yeah, the reason I opened up and started a Twitter was Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
But she was secondary to Faith, though, honestly. Like, I started with Faith. And then I said, okay, I like her too. And then here I am, like 5 years later in love still. So.
Oh, yeah. Me too. And that's why we're going to go ahead and put that one to the side for now. We won't do the Carrie top
yet
5.
To get a tweet back, which I'm still a little hot about, but it's cool.
It'll happen.
She's got one more year. She's got one more Sunday Night Football year of me, and I'm over it. So we'll see.
All right,
maybe I can get like somebody with a verified Twitter or something to reach out, but whatever.
Well, I'm not here to brag, but I do have I've got the verified Twitter, so I will jump.
So you got a leg up.
I'll jump on the grenade for you. I'm like, Carrie, talk to my man. At least say hi. Make his day.
You're a step ahead.
Yeah. Well, we're doing a fun one today. We are doing our top 5 sports jerseys of all time. Throughout history, hockey, baseball, basketball, football, even others if they come up. Because there have been some really cool ones through the years, and there have been some kind of goofy ones through the years. But these are our favorites that just kind of stuck with us. So we'll go ahead and get it started. Desmond Tardy, what's your 5th favorite sports jersey of all time?
Okay, now quick question. Are we going like 5th favorite athletes or like just the jersey, like design?
Just the jersey, just the design. Now you can have a player that made you like that jersey, which I kind of have that a little bit.
Right.
Just strictly the jersey.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go 5. Home 76ers Iverson jersey.
Okay, with the thing with the basketball with the tail on it, like a comet. Okay, yeah.
Absolutely. And then, I had the Braves when I was in high school. I thought I was Iverson. So yes, it put a little double meaning, but yes, the jersey was definitely cold too. So absolutely.
Well, what made those jerseys so cool were that was the first one that wasn't the tank top. It was the first one to kind of extend
with the
over
wider
the
and not so much like the tank shoulder part. Yeah, I'm with you. Yep.
And then, of course,
I thought that was new and
shoes.
early. Oh, God. Definitely had me some answers.
Yeah.
I think that was like 6th grade, too, for me. Wow. I am
old. It's been a while, but that was a good look. And I got to admit, that is one of my honorable mentions. It didn't quite make my list, but, we're same generation. playing basketball at Post Road there at Warren.
Oh God, Christian Church. How about that?
It didn't get cooler than Iverson jersey with, first time putting the sleeve on, having the wristbands. It was a good look.
What was I about to say? Gosh, dog. Anyway, whatever. We can move on. I don't know what I was about to say. I lost thought real quick.
My number 5 for you is more of a classic look because I don't know that they've had very many changes through the years. But my number 5, the Green Bay Packers. I'm a huge Packers fan myself. That's my NFC team. For this list, I should also mention I refused to pick any indie sports teams because I'm, huge Colts fan, huge Pacers guy. I decided I'm going to go ahead and not pick them because they would automatically make my list, through bias. So I was like, I'm going to say all of this without indie. I know, and it's always kind of bugged me that the Dallas Cowboys are labeled America's team. I get it, but I feel like they have so many haters, and I feel like unless you're a Vikings fan or a Bears fan, you don't really hate the Packers. That's the Midwest, beers and brats, the green and yellow, the cheese heads. Right. I mean, that's Americana. And like you said, you were in 6th grade. I was in 6th grade at the dentist. And I remember seeing a Sports Illustrated for kids, and it was Favre in the Packers jersey with Javon Walker, the Skywalker catch. Nothing cooler.
That's funny. Great. You know what's funny? I had a Jerkovich jersey when I was little, and I don't know why. It's like a. I swear, I remember that, and I'm like, why did I have this jersey? Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember like going to the mall and like, yeah, I want that guy's jersey. Like it wasn't like a Brooks jersey or Antonio Freeman. It was a Jerkovich. I don't know why, but yes, okay, I know what you're talking about. I just don't know why I had the jersey. Oh, that was so weird. You brought that up. That's a bad memory.
Yeah, well, I feel like that's going to happen with our list. It's kind of a trip down, memory lane.
Bit of nostalgia for sure.
So we've got the 02, the 01 Iverson, the Sixers jersey, the home white. What do you got at number 4?
You just actually made this jump into the list, but when you brought the Cowboys, the star on the shoulder, it's like white and blue, but the star is here. I don't know if they have a name for it or whatever, but that one, I love that one. And I wasn't even a big Cowboys fan. My best friend growing up actually was. And I remember going in his room like when we had first met, and I'm talking 4th, 5th grade. And I remember thinking like, yo, those are dope. Like those jerseys. And he had like a Emmitt Smith, the 21 or whatever with the star. And it's like white, I think, and the blue star and half the jersey blue. That one was definitely one of the dopest like NFL jerseys I can remember, like especially in that time for sure. And that's without being a Cowboys fan. So it took a lot.
That is true. As much as I may not care for them, you can't deny that the jersey is awesome. And what kind of bugs me about it is they never wear their dark blues at home. They always wear the cowboy white. But the blues, the navy blue, the dark jersey is a cold look. I wish they would do that more,
Right. Yeah, for sure. Those were awesome. Like I would have bought one of them. I was so young, I couldn't afford it. But I definitely would have asked Christmas gift for one of those jerseys for sure, because I love that one a lot.
More so than the Jerkovich jersey.
Absolutely.
So my number 4 for you is kind of a rival to my 5th pick, and actually is a jersey that you wore for a brief amount of time. And it's the 02 Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey. The red with the pewter, the pewter kind of goldish looking pants. The one they wore when, one of the best linebackers of all time in Derek Brooks, one of the best D linemen of all time in Warren Sapp. They were the baddest dudes on D, and they just look so cool doing it. I've always loved those red Tampa Bay jerseys from the early 2000s.
Agreed. So I actually worked with here at IMG for 2 years with Cadillac Williams. And so he, was there with Derek Brooks and all those guys. And so, yeah, I definitely know what you're talking about. I was in that locker room for a short period of time. I think what was the corner was there with us? God, I can't think his name either. But that was solid. Because in our draft year was Josh Freeman. So he came in with us. But now I'm later than that as far as draft. But early 2000s, I definitely remember those. Wait, was that Super Bowl time or no?
Yeah. So they won the Super Bowl in 2002. They beat the Raiders.
Okay. So yep. Okay. Yeah. So we're thinking around the same time. Yeah, I definitely wasn't around then, but I definitely know. I think Randall L might have been around then, right? Was he on that team?
Randall L. Was he on the Washington team at that time? Because I know he was a Steeler for a little
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to think because funny enough, when we were at Warren, Randall L. and somebody else came to talk to us. I can't think. Oh, it was linebacker. God, dog it. I can't think his name either. But anyway, that was just kind of cool to have those guys come talk to us. I wasn't sure if he was a part of that or not. But no, those jerseys were definitely awesome. I know exactly what you're talking. Because just being here, we're 45 minutes from Tampa, so you see them in Applebee's and restaurants. Like those type jerseys are just kind of Derrick Brooks type stars, Sap, and all those guys' jerseys hanging up pretty much everywhere. So yeah, those are pretty cool.
So we've had Sixers, we've got the Cowboys. What do you got at number 3?
Oh man. I'm definitely gonna stay away from the Colts and Pacers, and not because of bias, but because they never had anything like fancy, cool. Like they've always been pretty basic. But they recently just came back to it, but the Grizzlies jerseys with the bear coming kind of over the sign on the jersey. And what is that, like a greenish teal type color jersey?
Yeah.
Those were sweet. And it's funny because John Morant trained here at IMG. So I got to talk to him a few times, but I plan to grab me one of those jerseys because those are pretty cool. I like those a lot.
That was the best, man. That seriously was when the NBA was at its height. I love the 90s ball, the Knicks and the Bulls and the Pacers. But that early 2000s, the late 90s, the early 2000s, you had those Grizzlies teams, Mike Bibby, Pau Gasol, Sharif Abdur-Rahim, and they had
Sharif Abdur-Rahim, absolutely.
They had the black alternative, and then they had the teal, or they had the black road, and then the teal alternative you're talking about. Those were so cool, man. Those were great. Back when they were still in
100%.
Vancouver, not in Memphis.
Yep. Vancouver. Wow. Dang, man. I forgot about that. They were back in Vancouver. How about that?
I told you it's going to be a trip down memory lane, man. So for you, I had Packers and then I had the 0-2 Bucks. Now I'm going to kind of keep it in the football realm for just a little bit longer. I do have some other sports available. But my number 3 for you is kind of a classic. And this is a nod to one of my brothers, a good friend of ours, Shy Holder, Notre Dame Irish. Notre Dame Irish. It's the mid 80s, not the late 70s, early 80s with like the Montana years. The mid to late 80s with Tim Brown, Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Those bad boys right there. The gold helmet. Okay. I think those are that's the coolest look they ever had. I don't care for when they go for the green. I know that's a throwback, but nobody ever looked cooler playing receiver in college other than Desmond Tardy than this right here.
I was a big fan of Tim Brown, not Notre Dame because I was, we were all young at that point, but when he got to the league, I was definitely a big fan of Tim Brown. I liked him, but it's weird. He went from plain jersey to plain jersey. Like I thought those jerseys were like. I mean, I'm wrong. It's Notre Dame, and growing up in Indiana, what they are. But like he went to like the Raiders at one point. I mean, what more plain jersey than just a black and silver? Like the Raiders never had anything fancy. And he went back to that jersey. I was like, oh goodness, dude, you can't get a fancy anything, can you? So, but no, I'm a fan. I like and that brings me to my next one because it's not fancy. It was just cool because they rocked it and they did well. So it like made it a little cooler, but it was Penn State. And I think it's still very similar today. Like it's just blue and white, but it looks really cool. I'm talking Kajana Carter days, like way back then. My cousin had a jersey and I was really young at the time, but I remember looking like, man, those are cool. And then I got older and I play against them. And I'm like, there's nothing fancy about them, but they're just like right. Like it just, I don't know, they just really cool. So I had a friend from Fort Wayne I played an all-star game with in Indiana that played was something Gaines. I don't forget his first name, but he's defensive end and played for Penn State. And I remember just talking about that with him on the phone, just like, yeah, those jerseys are pretty cool. We didn't have much cool stuff at Purdue, but those jerseys at Penn State they're just, I mean, it's like they're so plain, but they're so perfect. It's weird.
Yeah, man, it's that iconic look that when you see it, some college football games, when it's a kind of a lesser conference, it's like Duke versus Maryland or somebody, and you're kind of trying to figure out who's playing right now. but you know immediately when you see a Penn State game, that's a Nittany Lion right there. They got the unique helmet that nobody else has, that white and that special shade of blue. I can't argue, man. That's a really good look.
I always like that. And I, people, it's nothing fancy. He's right. There's nothing fancy about it, but I just like it. I don't know. It like works for them. That blue and white is like perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that was your number 2. We're kind of getting there. We've got some really great jerseys. I like that we also haven't had any crossover yet. I was wondering if we would both kind of pick something.
I'm not gonna pick a Notre Dame jersey. I can't pick an IU jersey either. There's one that I thought was actually cool, but I can't put it on this list. No, sir.
Of course not.
No, sir.
So I had the Packers, I had the Bucks, and I've got the 80s Notre Dame. So that's my football picks. We're going to move into the basketball realm for my number 2.
Mine are okay.
I shouted him out a little bit earlier when I said, I love 90s basketball. Being a Pacers fan, it pains me to say this a little bit, but it doesn't get much cooler than 89 to 94 Orlando Magic, the black alternative.
Pinstripe.
The pinstripe that Shaq and Penny Hardaway wore in the early 90s. You had Nick Hardaway. You had the team. They were the first team to really stretch the floor because everybody could shoot except for Shaq. That kind of led to the NBA that we kind of see it today, where you've got the rim protector and then a bunch of shooters. But those pinstripes in Orlando were just so badass. And I had a Hardaway jersey. I had a Shaq jersey. The blues were cool. The whites were clean, but something about the bad boy, the black road alternative for the Orlando Magic was so cool.
I couldn't agree more. Those are really dope. And what was that? Penny Hardaway, Magic? I mean, man, who did it better? That was a crazy duo back then. I don't know what the age group of your normal viewers are, but are they going to remember that, or how's that go?
Oh yeah, I mean,
okay.
I think the whole goal too is, even if you don't know what we're talking about, that we're so interested in it, they're going to want to go look it up what we're talking about, and I'll try to drop some pictures in, and that's probably another list that we could do: the greatest what ifs in sports history if Penny Hardaway can stay healthy. You know what I'm saying?
There's a couple guys, plenty of guys on that list, but a couple like that I just can think off the top of my head. It's like, man, what could he have achieved if he just didn't get hurt or whatever the reason may have been? Yes, for sure.
Exactly. So, all right, man, Des, we've got Sixers, we've got the Cowboys with the star, we've got the Grizzlies with the bear, we've got Penn State, the classic, iconic Nittany Lions. What do we got at number 1 for you?
You're going to hate this, but it's just not you're going to hate it, but like it's so new. And, it's one of those things like, man, as soon as I seen it, I was like, oh, that's the best jersey in the league right now. So it's super new. It's still going on right now. They're still playing in them. These are amazing to me.
Oh, wow.
I want one right now. Phoenix Suns Valley jersey. Yeah. I need one. And my college friend, E'Twaun Moore from Purdue plays for them. So I need to hit him up, man, and see how I can find his jersey. Because of course I can get a Book jersey, I can get a Paul jersey. I imagine they're not selling E'Twaun Moore jerseys in the store. I need that jersey because I love him, and then that's my guy. So I got to represent and get that 55 Valley jersey. So those are the cleanest thing out right now to me for sure.
That is such a good pick. Because you're right. I don't have a lot of newer picks on my list. Some of them were throwback. And I got to say, those Valley jerseys are really cool. Also, the Miami, with the teal and the pink, the Miami Heat.
That almost made my list.
Those are pretty cool.
Show you. Wait, are you talking about? Let me pull it up here. Talking about these guys or the other colors?
Those right there are.
Yeah,
those are.
I was sitting here looking at that one too. I was like, because that's definitely a close one too. I'm not too far, but I'll show you one better. How about this? And this about made the list as well. But I said, you know what? I got to go with what I know. Those guys.
Yeah, that's cool. Now,
the kind of fade. That's kind of cool to me.
What bugs me about that is that's a jersey I know I could never ever pull off. Like I can kind of pull off some of the darker ones. I can kind of hide behind, but that. I'm not cool enough to be able to pull that off. That is a good look, though.
Yeah, for down here, man, everybody's showing their arms and cutoffs and whatnot because it's always hot. So I could do it and no one would pay attention because everybody's doing it. But up there, it's like, when you throw something, it's like, wait a minute, everybody's gonna look because that's new. One jersey is new. Two, this is an area where we don't really wear that jersey. Here,
Yeah.
there's no team here. So you wear Heat jerseys, you wear Magic jerseys, because there's nothing really kind of in this, what they call South Florida, but this kind of central area.
Yeah.
So we just kind of choose between the two. It's like Jacksonville, Miami, Tampa Bay Bucks. It's like, we're Bucks here because we're closest, but man, you see it all around here. Like you go to Lids and stores like that, man, they got all the Florida hats, so you got your Marlins choices and all that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
But
and you
that
can usually
jersey is
just load
cool as
up
hell.
with whatever matches like your shoes or your shorts.
Right,
as long
Like
as it
I don't have much
looks
pink,
good.
but it fades into a little
Yeah.
blue. I'll rock that. You know what I mean? No, you're right.
Yeah. Okay, so I had Packers, Bucks, Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the 89 to 94, the early 90s Magic. My number one jersey for you, and I feel this being controversial, but I can't help it. I just think it's such a good look because you could be a world's best hockey player, or you could be a guy who just bonged 5 beers wearing this jersey. There's no in between. It's the Chicago Blackhawks, the classic look. I'm not a hockey guy. I'm not going to try to pretend that I am. My sister is a huge hockey fan, huge Blackhawks fan. The first time I ever saw a Blackhawks jersey was Christmas Vacation. Clark Griswold is wearing one
Yes.
in the house. But watching them, they were on they had a little bit of a dynasty in the mid 2000s there. They won like 3 chips every other year. It's just such a good look. It's so cool.
I am a fan of that. It's funny, man, with how well the Lightning are doing. I'm about to get me a Lightning jersey up here because they are rolling. And what do I know about hockey? But I'll watch. I mean, you can't go anywhere without, if the game is on, it is every TV. Like two of my cousins actually came up last weekend, and I think they had closed out. I forgot who they were playing, but they closed the closeout game, game 7. And we were, just at this like happy hour bar, just all met up, getting some food and whatnot. And my cousins were looking at me like, "Yo, are we watching hockey right now?" And I'm like, "Dude, try to get them to change the channel if you want to. They might kick us all out. Like they do not play about that down here. Raise and both game on, all TVs."
Well, it's one of those things. Like TV is one thing, but hockey is definitely one of those things where if you go see it live, it doesn't matter if you don't know the rules. It doesn't matter if you don't know the players. Live in the action, it's like going to see, a baseball game, especially AAA, where you can get down close and you kind of know the players a bit. There's nothing like it. Doesn't matter if you don't know it. It's a lot of fun to be there.
I've been to one hockey game. It was in Green Bay when I was playing arena football up there. And dude, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go again. I can't afford these tickets nowadays. Like in the playoffs, next year or something, I'll try to get to like a regular season game. But dude, those things are sweet. They are a lot of fun.
So, all right, man. Those are our top 5s. Did you have any honorable mentions that
yes,
I saw that the Heat didn't quite?
Yes.
But what
I have
didn't
an
quite make
honorable
the list?
mention.
What do you got?
Dude, come on. Are you kidding me? The Tampa, the Raptor Tampa jerseys?
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want one. I do want one. I'm telling you, Valley jersey, a Bolt jersey, and that Tampa, I'm getting one. I promise.
You are so Florida now, man.
Yeah, I'm all in. And I also had a buddy of mine that like worked for him a little bit. He's a coach here at IMG basketball, and he knew somebody and got on with the Tampa Raptors. And I said, dude, I got to get this jersey. Like, who's to say they don't, stop making them because COVID, this, that, and the other, they're going to go back Toronto and all that. Like, it's probably limited time, right? So
yeah,
that's pretty cool to have a Tampa basketball jersey because it technically doesn't exist. Like, it's not a real thing, but I thought that was cool.
No, absolutely. That's definitely one that you want to. That's like a keepsake, that you can.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
It was a weird time. So we already talked about a couple of my honorable mentions. The only one I haven't mentioned yet is, again, this was more of a throwback. I guess I need to show the current NBA a little more love. I do like the Warriors jerseys. I think the blue is a good look. But one of my favorites, the late 80s, early 90s, because Mutombo wore one as a rookie, but the old Denver Nuggets.
That's funny. That that would have definitely made
is a good look.
That's a close call on my honorable mention for sure. And I'm also a Bron guy, so I got like the blue and white Los Angeles jersey, and then I got the black Lakers jersey. So I didn't want to add the ones I already have. Like it's kind of like I got them. I kind of like. I guess I kind of clinched that little thirst for it, quenched that thirst for it. But yeah, I want to go with ones I don't have and that I've seen and that I love because when a little old, and then some definitely new ones. those are too sweet not to mention in my opinion.
Nice, man. Well, this was a lot of fun, Des. I appreciate you taking the time again. Now, you're coaching football there at IMG in Florida, but I know you guys open it up to camps across sports. So how can, if parents want to send their kids to camp, if they're interested in checking out the sports there, how can they get involved? How can they get signed up?
Yeah, man. So it's I don't want to say it's all sports, but I mean, I know for sure soccer, tennis, basketball, men's and women's soccer, tennis, men's and women's, golf, men's and women. And there's football, baseball. Man, we got all that for you. You can sign up for a week, 3 weeks, for 5 weeks. I mean, and just like our staff and along with other staffs, we probably have around 18 coaches because we have 4 different teams. And without a doubt, at least 13 have NFL experience, so you're getting some of the best coaching you're going to get. And that's across all the other platforms in sports as well, but imgacademy.com. And you'll see a summer camp link. You can go in there and sign up, man. You're going to get some of the best coaching, have a good time, enjoy it, get better. And then, we have evaluations for the kids that we send them off with on their last day so they can know what to work on as they leave and go back home. They'll have videos. We have a coach now is an app we use to post videos of them throughout the week where they can learn. It has coaching points on it. Yeah, it has coaching points on it. So you see a drill and you know what we're looking for. So you know what to work on. You can take it home, which is pretty sweet.
That's awesome, man. Well, congratulations on having that awesome gig there. Hopefully we'll get some people signed up, and hopefully you'll have a trip back to Indy sometime, maybe not in January, February, because it's miserable here. You know that. We'll see you in April or May when it's great in Indy. Yeah. And we'll talk to you soon, man.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you having me.